Well, FreshBaked, we've got a new image. It's just a single image, but a new image of the progress at Avengers Campus. I would say this image is maybe 2 or 3 weeks old at this point. I've been sitting on it for a week. But it does give us a very good idea, I think, of where we're at with regard to, the progress of Avengers Campus. Oh my God, I just said Galaxy's Edge. In this episode, we are going to see a lot of things that we have never seen before, which is kind of exciting. This aerial view has given us the most detail that we're going to have seen since construction began. So we're just going to kind of scan through the whole thing, go from corner to corner, and see what we can observe. And we're going to do this super close up. So let's zoom in. And where I want to begin is in the lower left. And you'll see, I guess, I don't know if this is necessary or not, but confirmation, red car trolley tracks are still there. Now watch this. They go right through, this is confirmation that they are going right through the Avengery building. And then you can see the tracks split as they head into the storage area. You can't really see that the area, the building where they keep the trolley is just out of frame. But you can see the tracks going in there. So I don't know. I would be curious to see how that works. Like if they're running the red car trolley on the same track, where does it drop you off? Does it drop you off here next to Pym Foods, or do you get to actually go through that building? Now I can't think that you would. They wouldn't send you backstage, right? So it is my guess is they're probably going to drop you off here at Pym Food, though it would be really cool if you could go through that building, right? And you might have noticed as we passed through, the Quinjet looking sexy as ever on top of the Avengery building. Let's get closer. That'll be cool. A lot of detail. I mean, it's a full-sized looking ship too. Well, I guess. I mean, I'm not sure what the scale would be, but it's pretty close to full size, I would guess. But there it is, just sort of sitting on top of the building. And we'll pull out a little bit and see how it looks with respect to the rest of the land. And you can see, by the way, the Avengers logo has been installed right there on the pavement. I'm guessing it's got the logo has some final touches left. Obviously, that's not how it's going to look when it's complete. You'll notice on the ground, everywhere we go, that there is like a covering over the surface. The surface is all over the land, so they're probably trying to protect that. It's not installed, I think, but they're just covering it, and then they'll remove that covering when it's done. If we go back to in front of that Avengery building and get a little closer again, you can see them installing paving stones in much the same way we saw them installed, let's say, at the Pixar Pals parking structure, brick by brick, with a, kind of a, I don't know, illogical pattern. I don't really know what the final result's going to be, but it looks like a game of Breakout. I think that's kind of how they looked out in front of Mission Breakout, didn't it? When they put those new paving stones down, kind of a Breakout. Do you guys ever play Breakout when you're a kid back on the Atari? I don't know if you're old like me, but anyway. You can also see, now that we're close up, the Pym logo out in front of Pym Foods. I just call it Pym Foods, don't yell at me. I wonder how that's going to look on the ground, because it's kind of small, isn't it? So you can see the two outdoor seating areas there, a small one and a big one. I believe this Pym Foods is supposed to have both the proper restaurant and then the microbrewery, as it were. Micro, get it? Would be the smaller side. Now look at how big, though, this building is. It's difficult to say, to compare this to a restaurant elsewhere, but that's as big a building as you will see for a restaurant in the entire park. That's going to be impressive to be inside. That's going to be an experience, and that's something that Disney's really good at, making your shopping and your dining experience as much an attraction as an actual attraction, especially like at Galaxy's Edge, where the shopping is the show and the dining is the show. I have a feeling this location will be very much like that, just considering the size of this restaurant. Let's go back over to the Avengers building because I want to highlight an area that has me curious. And I've mentioned this before. This dirt area right here that connects the Avengers building and what we'll see in a minute, which is going to be the Doctor Strange area, is still unbuilt. Now, I say still unbuilt because the concept art suggests that there's another structure to be built here. That's not there. Now, it looks like it's about, that dirt area looks like it's about the size and shape of that structure. But why would they not have even begun building that yet? This looks almost finished. We're almost finished. So it appears to me that they've decided not to build this. Take a closer look at this ground, though. A couple things that are kind of interesting to observe. These two holes in the ground look like they're foundational, like they're about to put something really heavy and really strong in there. But then I've been advised, Dustin, who helps me with these things, Dustin, you guys remember him? He said those squares that look to be stamped in the ground are going to be home for trees. They're going to put trees or some kind of potted area, planted area there. It's curious. It's just curious. Now, you can see, though, behind that area, what looks to be a bunch of rectangles, probably concrete, and probably the base or the beginning of a wall. So they're not going to leave it open like it is now, because that open area takes you to backstage, and they probably left that open, according to Dustin, so that they could get backstage to the staging areas where all of the building materials are. But it's not going to be also the same kind of wall, I'm guessing. I don't know. We're going to have to stand by and wait and see. It's certainly not going to be the same thing that we're seeing or has saw in the concept art, unless they're not as close to finishing as it appears they are. Okay, so let's go ahead and look over to the Doctor Strange area, which has taken much more shape, a much more clearer shape than we saw previously. Our last overheads, they looked like they were just getting ready to go vertical and to actually build. You could see the beginnings of the performance area. Now we can see that it's very much enclosed, very much walled in, has a definite shape and a definite entrance. I'm assuming this area right here is the entrance. Here's the concept art to show you how that looks, or how that'll look when it's open. And then you walk under those arches into the performance area, which I expect to be much more than a simple meet and greet. I say that because there's a lot of backstage. All this back here, even this building right here, I believe are all part of or being used for the show. Because I'm not aware of there being a gift shop, let's say. I'm talking about this building right here. I'm not aware of there being a gift shop for Doctor Strange, and that's not Web Suppliers. Web Suppliers is way over here. So I'm not sure what that building is for, other than for backstage. So there's a lot of infrastructure for what appears to be just a simple on the ground show based on the concept art. This is bigger than what we might be expecting or have expected based on the concept art. Not sure what this area is to the left of the show arena. The walls there are irregular, kind of haphazard almost. They look like they're ruinous, like ruin-looking type walls, although we can't really say for sure because the angle is wrong. We can't see down in front of it. But I get the feeling they're trying to extend the aesthetic of the Doctor Strange area with those walls. So what's going on behind there, which is definitely not built out yet, is a mystery if we look at the concept art. I mean, it looks like it's just landscaping. So maybe but that's a lot of space for, but which, you know what, if it is, thank you, by the way, very much for all the attention to landscaping, which we're going to see further on and throughout the video here, because they're putting landscaping everywhere. As a matter of fact, it looks like per the concept art, see this area back here where they've got all that landscaping, but there's effects there. There's more of those those floating hexagons, I guess. I don't know. I can't tell how many sides that is. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to guess 8, which is octagonal octagons. Good heavens. Shapes was never my forte. I did not major in shapes. Anyway, those floating octagons look to be a feature throughout the area, including, if we go back to the overhead shot, all of this back here. That's going to look beautiful. If that's what I think it is, that's going to look beautiful. Very much looking forward to seeing that. Now, what we can see is that in the Doctor Strange show area, I'm guessing this is the exit. Like you enter through those arches, or the ruins, as it were. You watch the show, and then you exit to the top right, and it leads you into this area right here, which is interesting looking, fascinating, because we haven't really seen what this is going to look like at all based on the concept art. The concept art is very vague in that area, other than to see that there's sort of this prism. It's a diamond or pyramid-shaped area. I don't know if that's like a hologram. Although, well, now that you look at it, you can see the actual. It's not a diamond, is it? It's more. It's not even a pyramid because it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. The pyramid has 4. I don't know what that is, but that is what that is for sure. Now that's just for show. It's probably something just to observe and to enjoy visually, and then you exit probably right here. I'm guessing because you can see walls all around it. Otherwise, interesting also is this floor pattern. What is going on here? It looks like they haven't finished it, but they're laying tile for what appears to be a very trippy looking pattern on the floor. And again, I have to wonder, that's just to be there, which again, it's really cool. I'd like things just being there without having to have any super duper purpose. Just being able to say, I stood in this area and observed that, and that was fun with, cool aesthetics and just a fun place to be, as opposed to necessarily being show and generating revenue necessarily. But I would again like to know, I guess that's backstage, right? That's not a shop. That's not big enough to be a gift shop. But there's a lot of HVAC. Look at all that. A lot of HVAC and stuff going on back there. That HVAC has a purpose. They have to circulate air into that building. To what end, I wonder? This Doctor Strange area is perhaps the most curious and interesting area for me in the whole land, more so than the Spider-Man attraction or Pym Foods. Although I did say already that I'm very curious about Pym Foods, but this kind of area for Doctor Strange is the kind of stuff that Walt would have made. That's just my opinion. This is a Walt-like area. If Walt were alive today, he would have built an area like this, I think. Now, we kind of got a peek at the Web Suppliers building when we were talking about Doctor Strange. There it is. That's Web Suppliers, which is right across the street from the Spider-Man attraction. Here's an entrance. If you're just walking in from DCA proper down the parade corridor, walking past the Spider-Man building, I'm guessing either that or that are entrances, and this is an exit. At least in today's world where there's only one way in and one way out. In the future, you could go in and out either way. But today, I'm guessing probably an entrance here and an exit there. That exit dumps you off into this sort of closed off area, which again, we don't really get an idea in the concept art. I'm having a hard time defining this area right here in the concept art. This building certainly does have the look and shape of that building. So it's going to dump you out into this area. But that is right, in the concept art, it's right next to the holographic pyramid looking thing. But it's certainly a far distance from that object in reality. So I don't know. I can't even guess what its purpose is. It does remind me, though, very much of the area in between in Carsland, Sarge's Surplus and Flo's. There's that, it's where the restrooms are. And maybe that's what this is. Oh, well, no, they've got restrooms. What do you figure, one restroom or two in Avengers Campus? In Carsland, there is just the one restroom, right? Yeah, the restroom is where Sarge's Surplus is. Sarge's Surplus empties you or exits you into the area where the restroom is. This very much feels like that, but I don't see that they would build restrooms across from each other. But who knows? We'll find out in the near future, hopefully. Let's go across the street from Web Suppliers to the Spider-Man building, which we're going to have some very interesting observations to make here. First, let's talk about this area right here. This greenhouse-looking area, to me, has my curiosity. As I understand it, this is just going to be exterior queue for the Spider-Man attraction. But I just want to know, why do they make this design choice? Why do they put those? I feel like it has a purpose. It's supposed to serve a function to our experience on the ground when we're in that queue. What is it that they're trying to convey there? I don't know. It's not just regular overhead. And again, I appreciate them going the extra mile here to give us something beyond just everyday outdoor queue experiences, that they're trying to create an environment and an aesthetic here. I'm just really curious what that might be. I've said that a lot today, haven't I? And you'll notice just to its right, an area on the rooftops that doesn't look like your typical rooftop, but on top of the Avengers building, this area supports a lot of what we've been hearing. I mean, I don't think I'm breaking any ground here. You gotta assume this sort of the perimeter, this rim to the building is for show. That is where we're going to be seeing our stunt performers perform, the rooftop stunt performers, Captain America, Black Widow, Spider-Man, etc. There's, as a matter of fact, it looks like there's even 2 layers of it. Dustin thinks that you might have somebody running underneath there, or some sort of performer maybe doing something underneath in this area down here. I guess there's a way in here, perhaps, but I don't know how that would work as show. All I can say is that I know we've seen in the concept art Avengers running up on top of the buildings. This would be the kind of area where you would see them doing that. So that's pretty cool. Sliding to the right, there's one of the cranes that Spider-Man will be slinging himself over. I have to assume this building, with this cutout in the roof of the building, is where he will be launched from. You're looking at, logic suggests this has to be so. You're looking at the area from which Spider-Man will get launched up, out, and over that crane into the next part of the show. And that's pretty cool. This is because we've been watching this, for a long time, speculating on how Spider-Man will perform and what that'll look like. But we've only been able to see it from the ground or from the Palaron, the Pixar Palaron. We've never really seen it from the top because the building was never this complete when we've seen aerials. And this is the most complete we've seen the building, and it's giving us the best idea of what's going to happen. And I do imagine that it's possible for this to connect, or to be, the walkway out here, the performance area out here, and this area here for Spider-Man to be connected in some way. Although, well, I don't know. It's hard to say because the Spider-Man show is going to be separate from the Avengers stunt show that you might see. So maybe they're not. I don't know. We'll have to find out, as I've said before. And then finally, out in front of Pym Foods and the Spider-Man attraction, you see a lot of landscaping being staged out here. And I referenced this earlier. I'm very happy to see this. I'm very happy to see as much landscaping as there is. I would love more even. But they have really, it looks like they're trying really hard to give this a very, even though it's a campus and it's all very technical and modern looking and steel and concrete, which isn't the most inviting, comfortable thing. They're making a big effort to also make it feel lived in. Unlike, let's say, for example, Toontown, which is almost all concrete with very little landscaping, and it therefore loses its charm and I don't know, comfort, I guess is the word I'm looking for. I'm not sure if that's it. But do expect to see a lot of landscaping here, and this looks great, just like it does in the concept art. If you look at the concept art, you can see that they've got it all over the place, especially in the right third or the lower third of the view with Doctor Strange area and bordering the entrance between Cardsland and Mater's, Mater's is right there, by the way. I'm not sure if you can tell because they covered it in clouds, but that's Mater's right there. And as we zoom back out, we can again get a better idea of just the relative completion of the land. I don't think they've got very much further to go. They had said a while back that they were anticipating, this is back when they thought they would reopen this year, or when they thought they might reopen in July. They had said at that time that they were expecting Avengers Campus to be finished by November. Obviously, it's not, and it's probably looking more like December, but we are pretty close. This does tell us, this kind of gives us visual confirmation that Avengers Campus is almost done. And that's super exciting. I just hope that we get a chance to enjoy this land, soon enough. I'm guessing February. I'm hoping February. But anyway, that's a topic for another conversation. That's it for this update on Avengers Campus. I hope you enjoyed. I want to hear what your thoughts are, though, you guys. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you spotted anything interesting, noteworthy that especially like with the Doctor Strange area, what you see there. Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, guys. Thanks for watching. Like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. And then you can also follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked and on Twitter at FreshBaked Dizzy. That's fresh with no E. Otherwise, we'll see you next time, guys. FreshBaked!